Hi guys, this is the additional lesson, the next one for Python programming. My name is Alex, and today I'd like to cover some stuff for you as variables, types of variables, and a little bit of a conversion. So it's really important for you to know what is variable and how to use it actually. We already met it last times. If you remember, we wrote hello world example, and there was a variable over there, string variable. So let's start with launching Anaconda, not Anaconda, spider actually, right? So start Anaconda spider, right? Okay, let's wait a moment. Okay, here we go. So variable is actually this guy, like string. String is the name of a variable and it has a value of a world, right? So what is variable itself? Variable is something that has a name and value. And I can use the variable by its name whenever I want, right? And when I use this variable, it will be substituted by its value. What does it mean? It means that, for example, I put a variable here called string, right? String. It has a value world, right? So whenever I substitute by its name string, here's the name, I substitute here in this print statement, print hello plus additional concatenation, string concatenation, string, it's the name, right? Plus something, right? So here string will be substituted by its value. So at the end of the day, if I run this example, right, what do we see? We see hello world, right? Okay, I can use my name, right? For example, I can use string equals Alex, and what do I see? I see what whenever the name of a variable is used, like here, right, it will use its value, Alex. So let me do what? Okay, hello Alex. And whenever I use the variable by its name, it will just use its value everywhere. As simple as that, right? So variable is something that has a name and value. So for example, I can do something like nice to meet you and add the name. So first of all, nice to meet you. So, and I used the same variable name called string, right? String is kind of bad variable name. Let me put it as a just name. Name, hello, name. Again, you see, I'm using just variable name called name. You can call it whatever. You can call it actually whatever. And whatever will be a variable name. And whenever I will be using variable name whatever, it will substitute its value. So let me do like that, right? So what do I expect? I expect actually two things to happen. Hello, whatever, not whatever. Hello, Alex, nice to meet you. Whatever, no, not whatever. Nice to meet you, Alex. To print out two strings, exactly. Here we go, right? Execute here. Hello, Alex, nice to meet you, Alex, right? Okay, perfect. So we talked about variables. Of course, variables have different types, right? Probably some of you who studied math, probably all of you know what there are some, for example, integer numbers like 1, -1, 0, 2, 3, 4, and so on. There are string variables, like this is text. Text is a string, and we talked about what last times. The string in Python is defined by using quotes, either double quotes or just single quotes here, right? There are other variables like variable types, real numbers, right? So let me show you. Like I can create first of all integer value, right? Integer variable. Let me call it like what? Integer variable, and give it a value. For example, 1 to 3. I like 1 to 3. It looks nice. I can use a real variable, like, and put the real value 1.23, right? I can call text variable and call it 1, 2, 3. And actually, let me put it a little bit more interesting. For real variable, I will put 1.23.0. Okay. Okay, and right now I can print them and see what happens. Print integer variable, print real variable, print text variable. Okay, I will print them. And what do I see? I see what integer is printed 1 to 3. Real is 1 to 3.0, right? And text variable is 1 to 3. So when I print out here, I actually don't know what's happening, right? Like I don't know, this 1 to 3 was produced by integer variable. It was integer variable what was printed out, or actually it was text variable. I cannot distinguish between those two guys. So, and here, what happens is actually a type conversion, right? For example, what I can do actually many different things. I can convert types from each other to each other, right? For example, sometimes, for example, text variable is 1 to 3. It's not, if you see, for example, 1 to 3 is a text, right? And if I can play here text variable here 1 to 3, right? Text variable +1. Okay, it complains, right? It complains because text variable, you cannot actually add text +1. It sounds kind of crazy, right? In the same thing happens, for example, if I use integer variable and I add text 1 to 3. What happens? Okay, it tells like, okay, I cannot actually support plus sign between integer and string variables. So when you use different variables, you actually want them to be of the same type, right? And here, some examples become very handy is when you convert types to each other. For example, what I can do, I can do int conversion, right, to integer value of text variable. If I use int text variable, it will give me actually a number 1 to 3. So I converted text variable to integer number. So, and right now, if I add to integer value +1, it actually gives me 1 to 24. So something what I expect, right? This is what you need to understand from this lesson is just a small thing. First of all, variable is something that has a name and value. And whenever I use variable name, it will be substituted by its value, right? Wherever. And then it's very important to use the same types. When you expect text, for example, don't get the integer value, and vice versa, right? When you cannot mix apple with oranges. And it's extremely important from my practice, what I saw in real life, in my work career, is like there are some errors and bugs in the code which you cannot predict because you mix apples and oranges, basically, right? Especially with Python. Python is so flexible that you can actually reassign anything to anything. What do I mean? For example, we see here integer variable equals to 123, right? I can actually tell what add something like what integer variable equals to text variable, right? What does it mean? It will change the type of the integer variable. Integer variable was integer value here, right? Of value 123, and then I tell like my integer variable equals to text variable, and text variable is text. So integer variable equals to text at the end of the day, right? So if I run it, you will see what type of integer variable is text. And what means with Python, you need a little bit be cautious. First of all, with names, if you wrote something like integer variables, please do not reassign to something crazy as text, right? And the second thing is be attentive to types. Do not mix apples and oranges. That's it for today. Thank you.